Virgo, but let's get into this moon in Libra real quick. It's Grand Air trine. Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. So we have a lot of mental energy, a lot of communication, a lot of inner and outer intelligence communicating with us. At this time, the moon in Virgo squared the nodes. So we had a bit of, I want to say awakening, but more like a change in perception or a conscious shift to get us closer to with the North Node and see where we have been in our South Node, Sagittarius, as a collective, and where we, need to find more balance. Now, with the moon being a Libra, it's a bit easier to commune in the North Node Gemini energy because they're both air, and with Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury of a retrograde, and now Venus all in Aquarius, like a stellium. It's a lot of ideas, communication, networking possible at this time, especially as it has to do with bridging the gap between what we do in the world and connecting with those who are on the same mental wave. Weird, unlikely, different, unique circumstances. It's a lot of confusion as well. As we're going through this shift universally, as a collective, we all have that, like, almost unstable, but not really unstable energy of everything feeling kind of malleable, especially during the Virgo moon transit. Virgo and Aquarius go very well because they're both mental, but trying to ground something straight from heaven takes a while to do. So with the Libra moon here transiting, it's helping us to be a little bit more charismatic in how we communicate or demonstrate without too much emotion what needs to be righted. So let's get into the spread. The Libra moon will in conjunct Taurian energy. So, we are definitely going to be addressing our values or our subconscious beliefs in what we believe we should have or shouldn't have in the physical world. And it's going to square Pluto. So there are going to be some letting go in relationships. It could be a relationship itself you let go, or just letting go how you view relationships or how you relate to yourself even from this point forward. And again, brings you one step closer to being able to network, connect, communicate, transport yourself in this plane. So we got Sagittarius IC in the Jupiter position. So that definitely talks a lot about, to me, the South Node being in Sagittarius, expanding in that how we used to see ourselves, the image of who we thought we were in the past and how we've kind of met up with ourselves from the future in the here and now. So the hidden aspect is change. Yeah, we're definitely starting to, I feel like we're all at a crossroads right now, or a fork in the road, where we're kind of just in between worlds right now. We're not too into this place, but we're not quite yet over here. And if we're looking at the situation from our South Node perspective, then we definitely would be seeing that there has been a lot of changes that have taken place. Even personally speaking, I know I'm not the same person that I was even a year ago, but definitely 10 years ago. And it took 10 years to completely brainwash me out of myself, and it took me another 10 years to undo all of it. And I'm still a work in progress. So, yes, a lot of changes. So what we're working on, Taurus, I have our individuality, Uranus and Mars and Taurus. Working on our individuality, how we find achievement in the physical reality through being our most authentic and resourceful self. Definitely. And the overall outcome here, the sun, is the actions we'll be taking. Air element, communicating. Okay, and we got the sun in Aquarius, air sign. Okay, overall energy at the bottom, we have the mind, Mercury. So yeah, there's a lot of mental energy in trying to connect the dots and how we go from living in the South Node of our personality or life circumstances to moving up towards the North Node, which requires us doing things that we've never done before. Now, with the moon squaring Virgo and Pisces, every time the moon goes there, it's going to square. In Pisces, it'll conjunct Neptune, which causes even more confusion. So it'll look like something is there, but you're not really sure what it is. You may be too afraid with the moon card, Pisces. You might be too afraid to leave where you are to go into the new realm. So you stay where you are because you feel kind of comfortable. But then when the moon moves into Aries, it's like you realize you should have made that move, but you know, it's too late now. You just gotta, wait for that next opportunity to come back around. So with the moon being in Virgo, it's like, okay, you can clearly see the facts and why you should make use of ideas that are going to put you closer to your destination. But if you don't act on that, then when the moon moves into Libra, it's kind of like, well, you got to rebalance yourself and recalibrate as to how you were unjust to yourself or the circumstance that you're trying to create, and find a more, healing way besides separating yourself, or experience a Three of Swords moment to move forward before the moon goes into Scorpio, where things get very emotional. So let's look at this Sagittarius I see. Sagittarius. Ooh. We got the Nine of Pentacles, Virgo energy here. So we're starting to see how we have built things, or built our personality, or built our selves up, or even the ego. We're starting to see and expand in ways how we have built things in the past, how things started out being built in the past, or even just seeing with this past Virgo cycle, how with our mind, because Virgo is mercurial, we could definitely be looking at how we have built mental blockages, or mental games, or mental confusion, and how it's kept us locked in the past. And, you know, now that we're in between worlds, we want to get out. We want to let go. It's time to let go. And it's time to release the power that we believe or have thought with this, you know, Mercury mind. Our mind is telling us that we're more powerful holding on to this, when really it's just an illusion. It's only a mental construct. It's not real. Let's look at this lunar eclipse change. We got the moon energy, the Chariot, Freya, here with the light and the dark side of the moon. So with this moon energy being in the moon position, the moon being in Libra, we start to change how we feel, or decide rather. We start to change the qualities of what relationship is and what it means. And with this Chariot, there's an activation here. There's a new way of going about things. There's a movement forward. The Chariot does talk about victory as well. So whatever changes we do have on an emotional level when it comes to relating to others, definitely allow your mind to see the victory in how you do relationships now compared to how you used to build them in the past. If you were building in the past based on a philosophy that wasn't truly coming from your most authentic spiritual nature, we can definitely see that right now based on everything that's going on in the world. You know, how we were raised to believe things, how we were raised to see things, and how we now grow into our own individuality. How the building blocks of that is not exactly who we are, but it plays a large process in how we've built ourselves to be. And now we get a chance to be changeable during the Virgo, during the nodal accesses, being in Gemini Sag, we get to be more changeable and flexible. We get to be more flexible in how we demonstrate our growth. And with this Chariot being here with the lunar eclipse change, we're definitely cutting off some old emotional hang-ups that come with relating or relationships overall, one-on-one relationships, partnerships, and we're starting to move in a new direction. Healing some mental things. Yeah. Holding on to past hurt. It doesn't do anything but distract you and takes up all your time. So once you shift your mental, or once you allow the consciousness to shift without trying to force anything, just let it go on its own, you can receive the message that you are meant to have. And it could be coming directly from the person that, has been on your mind the most, or it could be coming from, or you could be sending a message to, whether verbally or just, psychically, sending a message back and forth with whatever energy it is that has been the most, especially with this Mercury retrograde, we are reviewing things. We're reviewing the way that we used to do networking and friendships and associates, how we used to associate. So allow things to be and keep a friendly tone as much as possible. Nothing bitter. Just be open to communication. All right, we're working on what we have. Okay, so we got the Knight of Wands, Sag energy again. Fire. The Knight of Wands is about taking action, taking a risk. So if you do have the ability to work on how you engage with the world around you, especially a world that you have not been involved with before, or maybe you're relearning. With the relearning of self, you relearn your environment, your old environment first, in order to understand the environment you're going to be walking into once this dusty, like, that's what I feel, this like little dust cloud removes itself, or even like just whenever the conclusion has been reached, there's no more confusion. We will have the ability to charge ahead. Now, because you can be going backwards into something, if you have the ability to go back in, relate with someone, again, Mercury retrograde, that has to do with friendship based on your values you hold now, it's nothing wrong with doing that. Of course, it's about expanding and growth. So we're going from the Knight to the King. But remember what your main focus is in doing this. Don't be too fixated with the, with the Aquarian energy. Don't be too fixed on how you think things should go. Definitely be more flexible and a decision being reached, or a conclusion, or mediation. So the outcome is communication, air. So let's see about this, and then we'll get some advice. I am offering readings at the moment. You can book online. You can send me a message of the time and date you would like to get a reading. I am available. Also astrology as well. If you want to learn astrology or just get a natal reading, you can hit me up on my website, luminescent6.org. So let's get into this air element right here. The sun position. What is this air trine into water going to teach us? Ten of Pentacles. This has a lot to do with legacy, what you leaving behind. A Virgo energy as well. So we started out with the square energy with, building something that you see philosophical into the physical. And then we're ending it with communicating. So we're taking things, again, with the mental energy. We're transferring things from air to earth. So whatever outcome you would like to see for yourself this coming new year that starts March 21st. Or whatever outcome for the end of this year, or whatever if you take a real good look at the people that are the closest to you, and you allow yourself to evaluate who you are compared to who you are around, what are the facts? Are you being honest with yourself? Or do you become insecure and lie to yourself, or become in denial, because that would mean that, Aquarian energy, you're more alone than you would like to be. Or maybe opposite, you're surrounded by people that finally make you feel like you are always on the right track, always on the right path. Even if it's with the moon being in Libra, it's just only one person that makes you feel like you're on the right track. That's how much that means right now. It means 10 of Pentacles. Don't be afraid to communicate. Okay, and at the bottom, yeah, we got the Hierophant. We can definitely learn a lot about the people we consider family. You might go back and forth a lot about those people we do consider family. But be, Sag energy right there. Be patient, be, calm emotionally, because, just because we change and we grow into our own paths more and more each day, it doesn't mean that who is family will somehow no longer be family. Family will always be family. Now, how you choose to deal with that and how you choose to communicate that treasure, because, having people you can trust and relate to, even if you have, difference of opinion on how things should be, it doesn't mean that that's not a treasure still. Sometimes we can get Aquarian energy is fixed, Taurus energy is fixed. So it's hard, it can be a challenge rather, to learn the lesson that comes in balancing and tempering ourselves with, being able to understand people who are different from us, who have different values than us, because we somehow tend to forget that, we're all still the same, looking for the same thing, having the same experience, just in a different way. We're all still one cumulative thing, just representing itself in another individual. And we're all allowed differences. We're all allowed to change and be, period. So honor your partnership with yourself by allowing yourself to change and be exactly who you are, who you can be today. And if you find yourself in some type of imbalance within, don't be afraid to go within yourself and, find out where that imbalance is coming from, so that you are able to, allow the scales to tip back in balance during this moon in Libra, so that not only are your self-reflection looks more like you, and it feels more like you, and you think more like you, but with that confidence in yourself, you're able to connect better and attract better circumstances, situations, people, places, things that are in your alignment. So let's look at the advice right now during this Libra moon. What advice do we have during this Libra moon? Yep, so the first one we have is seek within. Life purpose. Find out what that is and study and learn. Okay, so find whatever it is within that your path is kind of shifting you towards, because it has to do with your life purpose. And dig into that information as much as you can, study and learning. And I feel like the study and learning part has more to do with yourself more than the artistry of whatever it is that is the physical representation of your occupation, vocation, or however you want to put it. Because whatever it is that you are deeply attracted to, it is a reflection of you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so attracted to it. So seek within as to what fuels that flame healthily, because it has to do with your life purpose. And the more that you grow into the attraction, the more you can study and learn who you are in the attraction itself. Start to love yourself more. At the bottom here was expand your perspective. So yeah, that's my reading for this Libra moon. I will be doing Scorpio later, probably later today, if not tomorrow. But thank you so much for tuning in, and peace.